All right, and I think we're up and rolling. So, howdy, and what's the haps, beautiful people, and Merry Christmas. I know this is a completely surprise live stream, but tell you what, I was on the way home from a gig tonight, and I was thinking, you know what? I've been meaning to do this for a long time. Just do just live readings and just uh, just as I know that's what my channel is all about, but just find a good format to just sit down and read some stories with people. And it kind of decided on a whim tonight. You know, it's Christmas Eve, or in most areas of the world right now, actual Christmas. So I kind of thought might as well just kick back and look up a few stories and just get this thing rolling. And my lady friend Luna is actually free tonight. Say hi to the people, Luna.
Hello, my darlings.
Yes. And I have poured myself some Lithuanian holiday liqueur, which is very powerful stuff, and that's saying something coming from from the family that I'm from. So we are going to get this thing rolling. Just a heads up to you, most of these are going to be in some variant creepypastas. So feel free to, if you're feeling like you're done for the night with your It's a Wonderful Lives and your Die Hards, your Home Alones, and your Rocky Fours. Those are like my top favorite movies to watch around Christmas time.
Not to mention the definitive 1951 adaptation of A Christmas Carol with Alistair Sim.
See, she always picks the classier stuff than me, and I thought I was classy. Always does this. Like, I'll mention like a movie or so, and she'll be like, "Oh, by the way, here's this piece of literature that I think is something everyone's going to love." I'm just like, man, I can't win. So, we're gonna get tonight rolling. I just started. I'm probably gonna be browsing for some more as we're reading and whatnot, and I was just kind of digging through. By the way, I can't remember if I mentioned this or not, but these are pretty much all going to be creepypastas and spoopy and stuff. So, and we're doing this live, and I have my Yuletide taboo of my beverage of choice. So, it's gonna be a bit messier than what you guys might be used to. So let's see here.
Damn.
What is messy? Not in a good way, babe. Just like messy in like a, oh no.
I should have gotten me some wine. We still have some left over from our Christmas party.
Oh, you do? Well,
Yeah.
hello, Sunny Bunny. You have not missed much. We're just starting. We're just grabbing a couple of stories to read, and we're gonna get this going. Oh, this one starts off with an F-bomb, which is just fine because this is the new and improved demonetized Goodie Serenade channel, so I can do whatever I want now. So, let's see here. As long as this ad stops loading. And by the way, Luna, feel free to like commentate and stuff if you have like reactions. We're not gonna we don't have to. This doesn't need to like super perfect high quality. It's Christmas Eve. We're just keeping it nice and chill, so we can commentate on these as we go. It's not a big deal.
Oh, I will.
Gucci Serenade, says Arcania Shade. All right. And by the way, we're hosting this in like our readers chat, so there's an option that some people might pop in if they're still awake or whatnot. So we'll see how it goes. But this first story is called White Christmas. Fuck, it's cold. You'd think I'd be used to it by now. Pulling my scarf a little tighter, I take one last drag off my cigarette and flick it to the ground, crushing it underfoot. I watch as it flares for a moment, a fleeting fight for life, before quickly fading to black on the frozen ground. Last one. I had checked all the nearby shops, and there were none left. There wasn't much of anything left after the looting. Goodbye, old friend. I gave the nearby landscape a quick once-over, surveying it as I do every time I come out for a smoke. Snow. Everywhere snow. Snow everywhere, like Buzz Lightyear. With a great sigh, I pull the glove off my right hand, thumbing in my pocket for the photo. Their photo. It's all I have left. My girls. I stare at it as my hand begins to burn, then gently return it to my pocket, shoving my glove back on roughly. Goddamn snow. Turning around to face the building, I reach for the cold metal handle, pausing a moment to read the sign on the door. National Weather Service, Key West, Florida. This used to be a forecast center. We'd sit around predicting the weather for locals and tourists alike. Well, mostly the tourists. The locals could always pretty much predict the weather themselves. Warm, sunny, sometimes rainy, with the occasional hurricane to keep things lively. After the snow came, though, there didn't seem to be much point in going through the motions of forecasting. We did it for a while. We thought the snow was temporary. We thought it was some weather anomaly that would evolve after a few days. Maybe a week at the outside. We were wrong. It's only ever snow. Snow and a balmy 28 degrees Fahrenheit. Turning the handle, I give the door a yank, and it opens with a groan. Everything is frozen these days, even the doors. The door is set in a wall of square glass panes, which have been covered with plastic and blankets in an attempt to better insulate the building. I walk quickly through the chilly lobby, the coldest parts of the building. It's become something of a storage room. There are piles of things in disarray on either side of me. The only clear path is to the door. At the far end of the room is another door, better insulated than the first. Passing through, I close it quickly behind me. I hang my coat, scarf, gloves, and hat on hooks opposite the door, and head down the hallway. Turning the corner, I enter the main part of the building. We call it the bullpen. The building wasn't always like this. It used to be individual offices and other rooms, but when the snow came, it changed everything. For everyone. Now, instead of sitting in our offices, forecasting the weather, we all sit at desks in one big space, for shared warmth as much as anything else, and try to figure out what the hell happened. Bill looks up as I enter the room, greeting me with a nod. "What is it out there, John?" he asks. "Oh, you know," I reply. "Cold." I head for my desk, back center of the pen, and plop down in my chair, hoping my short break will have given me fresh eyes. But after 6 months of this, there is little chance of that. I lean back in my chair, close my eyes, and rub my temples, internally reviewing what I know. The presently accepted account of events goes like this. A little more than 6 months ago, on Christmas Day, by sheer chance, some complete and utter fluke at precisely 8:17 GMT 5 o'clock, everywhere around the world you could hear the opening strains of Bing Crosby's White Christmas. All at once, everywhere in the world, every radio station, even internet music service, every CD player played that song. It didn't matter if those particular people or cultures celebrated Christmas. It happened everywhere without discrimination. Even people who hadn't been listening to music swear their radio switched on. Crosby sang about dreaming of a white Christmas, and that's what we did. Everyone, everywhere around the world, all at once, fell instantly asleep, and we all dreamed of a magical snow-covered world. I mean, by all accounts, we were only out for maybe 3 minutes, and when we woke, it was snowing. Everywhere, all at once. I mean, I like Bing Crosby as much as the next guy, but... Also, hi, Reuben-chan. Welcome to the stream, baby. Let's see.
I like Bing Crosby, but not quite that much.
It started slowly. Beautiful, fluffy snowflakes fell like confectioner's sugar from the sky, and soon everything was covered in a blanket of white. No one worried until the next day. Even in tropical places like this, on Christmas Day, the Christmas snow seemed like a Christmas miracle. In the harsh light of December 26th, though, it was just snow. And it was cold. Now early in July, it's more than that. The world's infrastructure has begun to collapse. For a while, the northernmost regions of the world fared well easily, but now they find themselves faltering as their goods and services from southern suppliers dry up. The closer you get to the equator, the more prevalent the death. We just weren't prepared for anything like this. Give us a couple days of snow and we'll manage, but this is something else entirely, and I scroll too fast. This is something else entirely, and people just couldn't stay warm. Most equatorial survivors had set off on treks to naturally colder climates in hope of salvation, but it's not an easy journey, and many of them won't make it. Even if they do, at this point, there's no telling how much longer those places can hold out. Current models project a year at most. Sitting up, I open my eyes and look around the room. There are 3 of us now, and 9 empty desks. Those desks belong to people, but they all either headed north with their families in search of hope, or perished in the cold. Or both. Bill and Marcus are old bachelors, and don't have family to lose or protect. Sometimes, in moments of weakness, I envy them that. But not really. I mean, most days, those memories are all that keep me going. I just want answers. Shaking my head, I try to dislodge the thoughts of my family. Must focus. Marcus comes into the room and looks at me expectantly. That look means he's been out to clean off the radar and get the generator going. Alright, guys, I address the room. Fire it up! Being so far south, we lost power early on. Luckily, Bill is an avid survivalist, and had a generator and a huge stockpile of gas on hand. Not to mention food.
And tinfoil hats, too.
And other supplies and equipment. He was the first one to leave home and set up shop here. He's the reason we have heat. He's the reason we're still alive. We do this once a week. There's never been anything. It's only ever snow. I let the ritual continue because it gives them hope. But, what a shock. It's only ever snow. John, Bill's gruff voice penetrates my thoughts. There's something. I stand bolt upright. In 6 months, they're a... What the fuck?
What happened?
I scrolled too fast. In 6 months, there had never been anything. It can't be. Thumbing the photo in my pocket, I quickly cross the bullpen and stand at Bill's side. He points to an island northwest of us. Oh my god. The precipitation over Wisteria Island is gone. There's a break in the snow, but it doesn't seem to be spreading. It's like there's a Wisteria Island-shaped hole in the screen. I'm going over there. I run to the door and start to layer on my outdoor clothes. Bill and Marcus are close behind. John, be reasonable. You don't know what's happening out there. We should continue to observe the event from here, Bill pleads with me. You should continue to observe the event from here, but I'm going out there. John, there's no need to risk your life like this. If we just use a little more caution, we can figure it out safely, Marcus reasons. There's no time, Marcus. Thank you both for your concern. But if the weather has changed somewhere, I need to know why. If we figure that out, maybe we can save some lives. I finger the photo in my pocket again. I will not be swayed from this. I couldn't save my family, but there's a chance now that I can save others. And I won't ignore that just to keep myself safe. Please understand. I have to do this. Marcus nods. All right, Bill sighs. We'll stay here and keep the radar going. Take these with you. He hands me an assortment of gear, which I shove into my pockets. Please try to stay safe. Please try to be safe. I say my goodbyes and trudge out into the snow, heading north, heading toward the bite. Heading toward the bite? B-I-G-H-T?
Yep, the bite.
Oh.
Like Canto bite.
Like what bite?
That planet from Last Jedi with the where they freed the animals. That
I'm learning new words, yeah. Yay!
Yay!
Normally a 20-minute walk in this weather. It takes much longer, and I have ample time to survey the carnage. I think the three of us are the only people left alive on the island. The continued snow has destroyed most buildings, and the continued cold has killed those who didn't flee north. Bodies pepper the streets. There's a marina at the end of the island. I almost said marinara. Like everything else, it's in shambles. Some of the boats have receded into the water under the weight of the snow. Others have been used as vessels of attempted escape. As I approach the marina's small office building, I see that the windows are broken, and the door stands ajar. I'm not the first to come in search of a boat. I grab a handful of the keys that remain in the office. I use the tag on each key to check the associated boat. Number 17, gone. 24, gone. 8, sunk. Number 14, gone. Number 31, well, maybe. Number 31 is covered enough that it's completely full of snow. I clear out enough snow to climb in, prime the fuel line, shove the key in place, and give it a turn. Key doesn't budge. Damn. I continue through the keys until I find another promising boat. Number 15. This time the key turns, but it won't start. Last key, last boat. Lucky number 3. It's full of snow, but still properly afloat. I dig out a hole near the controls and hop in. Key turns. I let the engine power up, and, heavy on the choke, I try the ignition. Nothing. I'm hopeful, though. Number 3. My girls, this is the one. I try again, and the boat roars to life. Deeply relieved, I pull her gently out of the marina. Even at my slow pace, it doesn't take long to cross through the 600 yards of saltwater slush to the island. I beach the boat and climb out onto the shore. And it's utterly bizarre. It's like spring has come to the island. The sky is clear and the snow is melting, but everywhere else, the snow remains. I can stick my hand out of the side of the island and catch snow. I've never seen anything like this. I walk to the perimeter of the island. It's not a big island by any stretch, so it's a quick walk. Aside from the weather, nothing seems out of place. I stare out at the water for a while, looking towards Key West. Just snow. I turn around to face the central part of this small island. The snow is melting, glistening in the sunlight and sliding off the Australian pines. Christmas Tree Island, we call it. A particularly shiny reflection catches my eye. In the sunshine, it winks at me brightly from the very center of the island. I rush inward to investigate, navigating the thick pines as quickly as I can. I reach the middle of the island to find a metallic object sticking out of the melting snow. It's a circle, like a wheel of sorts. I begin moving the snow away with my gloved hands. Bit by bit, the object reveals itself. Raised platform, bigger round object beneath the wheel. Writing, Reconstitution. Latches, hinges. It's a door. More precisely, it's a hatch. What the hell? I've been to this island so many times, and this has never been here before. I turn the wheel, and it moves easily. Pulling on it, I try opening the hatch, but it's stuck. The seal must be frozen still. I pull with all my strength, to no avail. I give it a kick, and then sit on the platform to catch my breath. After a moment, I'm back on my feet, pulling again. With a great pop, the hatch finally gives, throwing me backwards onto the ground. I scramble to examine the now open hatch. There's a ladder leading down into the darkness. I can't tell how far down the ladder reaches, or what I might find once I'm down there. Fumbling with the photo in my pocket, I gather up my courage. I've come this far. I climb over the side of the hatch and onto the ladder, beginning my descent. As the surface light fades, I'm enveloped in darkness. It's unnerving, but I keep moving. The descent feels never-ending. Finally, I begin to see light below me. At the end of the ladder, I find myself at one end of a small hallway. The first thing I notice is the warmth. It's actually warm here. There's heat. I peel off my outdoor clothes, which are by now nearly soaked through, and leave them in a pile by the ladder. The well-lit hallway is not very long. I follow it around the corner where it exits into a large, bright room. The room is full of machines with blinking lights, beeping incessantly. There's an older man moving frantically about the room, fidgeting first with one machine, then another, and so forth, clucking unhappily to himself. Lines are etched deeply into his face. His spray of unruly white hair makes him look like a mad scientist. What the hell? He's so preoccupied with his machines, he doesn't see me. I watch him, mouth agape. I have no idea what's happening here.
It's the real Bing Crosby.
Oh my god. No, Bing Crosby, why? Warning, perimeter breach. Warning, intruder alert. A machine near the man responds in my presence. Oh no, it's a Scottish accent. Oh no.
Okay. Want me to do it?
Shut up, you, the man says in a thick Scottish accent, banging on the machine in an attempt to silence the alarm. I told you before, there's no... He looks up then, noticing me for the first time. His eyes grow wide, jumping to his feet. He crosses the room and addresses me angrily. Who are you? How did you get down here? You can't be here. Who am I respond. Who are you? What the hell is this place? You first. How did you find me? He asks accusingly. There is a sizable hatch in the middle of this tiny island. It wasn't rocket science. Oh, damn. Cloaking device must be on the blink, too. The cloaking? Cloaking what? He dismisses my confusion with a wave of his hand. Cloaking device, yes. Which is why I've never seen the hatch before today. Yes. Who are you? What the hell is this place? I repeat my original questions, and he considers me for a moment. Then he takes a deep breath, calming visibly. Reconstitution? What the hell does that even mean? To reconstitute something is to return it to its original... No, I don't... No, I know what reconstitute means. What the hell is the reconstitution? Ah, yes. The reconstitution is an automated global population management system. We've been around for ages, constantly evolving with available technologies. We've been inventing for a few ourselves. Our current system is really top-notch. You would have seen some other of our earlier implementations. They were just crude. Automated global population management system. In precisely what way do you manage the population? We protect the population from destroying itself. You protect? Indeed. Oh, there we go. Indeed, yes. We monitor the planet's population for signs of impending self-destruction. I'm starting to turn into Transylvania.
You're turning into Boron.
Yeah. You don't mean to destroy each other or the planet generally, but that's the way it always trends. World leaders observed this early on, and the reconstitution was developed cooperatively among them. As I said, our early methods were, well, not what our current methods are, but we've always gotten the job done. I'm sorry, I still don't understand. What job is that? What job is that? I apologize if I've not been clear. We monitor the population for signs of self-destruction. We have a specific, refined criteria. And when we observe all the signs, we reset you. You reset. Indeed, yes. We would have set you back to a point where you may choose a different trajectory. Don't worry. We don't even know. We reset you and the world continues. No harm done. No harm? What do you call what's happening out there? People are dead. My family. People are dead. Ah, yes. Well, it would seem our program had a bit of a hiccup. After that, I almost want to be like, Aurora Borealis! Because I'm serious, it just goes,
Aurora Borealis.
At this time of year, at this part of Florida, localized entirely within this island. Yes.
May I see it?
No. Well, Luna, I must say, you steam a good ham.
Goody, the house is on fire!
No, Luna, that's just... No, sweetheart, that's just a lot more Northern Lights.
Help! Help!
Before we meme out of control. I'm speechless. He continues on. Yes, you see, when the program is functioning properly... I'm going to drift more and more out of this accent, but it's mostly so I can help people understand. Yes, you see, when the program is functioning properly, it gives a warning signal that reconstitution is about to commence. It's programmed to choose something culturally relevant and comforting to the population. You remember hearing White Christmas? Yes. Well, normally there's the warning signal, and you all fall asleep. The program resets you, you wake up, and you're happier, friendlier, and none the wiser. The world continues on, no harm done. What? Yes, he continues. This time the program glitched. It happens from time to time, but quite infrequently. You hear the warning signal, and you all fall asleep, but the reconstitution failed, and the program became stuck. I remain down here at all times, preserved in a sleep chamber, and the program is set to wake me if it cannot correct itself at the period of 6 months. So here I am. He sounds almost gleeful. I can barely process the things Michael is telling me. Fingering the photo in my pocket, I think of my girls. Given everything unbelievable that's happened in recent days, what makes this any different? I let it all sink in. What about the snow? I asked him finally. Nanobots. Nanobots? Indeed, yes. Nanobots are currently accepted method of reconstitution. During the process, the nanobots materialize as required, and disappearing again quite quickly. While our reconstitution bots are cold and white, they're not generally present in the quantities required to resemble snow. However, because the program glitched during the distribution process, they simply kept accumulating. Ergo, snow. But I've seen it. It is snow. I saw it melting above us, and maybe an hour ago now. Not melting. Retreating. I've been working on repairing the program, using the island as a small-scale testing site for development purposes. This guy's mad. Utterly and completely mad. Still, it was more plausible theory than anything I, or anyone else, had been able to come up with in the 6 months since the snow came. Let's just say everything you've told me is true. How can you do this? You can't control people like this. It's not up to you to decide the fate of people's lives. Actually, you're correct. It's not up to me. But it's the program, and the specific criteria we're developing and refined over centuries. So you're saying it's up to a machine. A machine controls the fate of every person on this planet. Indeed, yes. Illuminati confirmed. That's not actually part in the story. I just threw in that last part.
Get your tinfoil hats here. Tinfoil hats.
God damn it, I don't want a tinfoil hat. This is the wrong year for it. Okay. Oh no, stop what you're doing! I can't let you do this! I pull a flare gun out of my pocket and aim it at him. It's the only thing I have that's of any use in this situation. Michael looks confused and alarmed. I'm not sure you understand. Once I fix this and complete the reconstitution successfully, everything will be like it was before the glitch. Everyone will be restored. Your family will be restored, and they'll have no memory of this. I falter. My family, my girls. I could have them back. It would be like none of this ever happened. God, I want that so badly. I lower my gun and think of my wife. She would hate this. She was so beautiful. She had such a good heart. This is wrong, and I know it. And she would know it. If it were her standing here, she wouldn't even hesitate. No. I raise my gun again. No. This ends here. Step away from the machines. I'm sorry, Michael says. That's not going to happen. Before I can react, I see him push a button on a console, and the room begins to spin. I fall to my knees, then keel over. Everything goes black. I feel my consciousness returning. Instinctively, I bring my hand to my head. It hurts so... Ugh. No, it's fine. I must have been dreaming. I feel another hand on my head and open my eyes in alarm. Are you alright, love? You seem to have a bit of a start, Stella says, kissing my forehead. Hey, that's like my favorite beer. I'm fine. As far as I can tell, anyway. The bedroom door swings open suddenly, and the girls come bounding in and on the bed. It's Christmas! It's Christmas! They shout, jumping up and down on us. Stella laughs happily. Merry Christmas, my love, she says, kissing me softly. What was wrong with me? I shake my head, trying to clear away the lingering feeling of unease left by the dream I can't remember. It's Christmas. Merry Christmas, my girls, I exclaim, hugging them all. Shall we go see what Santa's left for us? And as we make our way down the stairs, I hear the opening strains of Bing Crosby's White Christmas float in through our open windows.
Vietnam flashbacks.
And that's the end. I like that one. I like that one.
Is this one Stella? So is the beer Stella Hoppy? Because those kids were pretty damn jumpy, weren't they?
What did you ask about Stella?
So is Stella a hoppy beer? Because those kids are jumping around pretty vigorously.
It's not that hoppy, otherwise I wouldn't love it as much as I do.
All right. I'm going to be right back. I'm going to grab myself some wine.
Okay. Go for it. In the meanwhile, whomst among you guys has a couple of questions. We can let her fill up her glass while I sip from mine. And chill out with y'all while we wait. I know it's about 12 minutes until it's Christmas for me. And we got a few more stories we're going to kind of read through here. We're actually... let's see. We're actually sitting real pretty right now. Got the Yuletide Taboo beverage in my hand. This flask of we call it Kimmel. It's delicious. Hello, Panda Child, my jazz daughter. Hope you guys are enjoying this so far. Again, this is the first time that we've done a sort of like live narrations. Keep an eye on Twitter. Uh-oh. Someone's cooking some bad news bears. Convince Nova to be a frog. Why are we trying... Okay, so while I was reading that, my peripheral vision my peripheral vision kind of caught glance at the chat on the sidebar, and it makes me think, what the heck? Why are people trying to turn people into frogs? I mean, this is the kind of weird stuff I expect from my channel, from the chats on my channel, but not precisely what I expect around Christmas. JRog1989 says, really enjoying this goodie. Well, thank you, JRog. I'm having a lot of fun with this, too. This is something I've been meaning to do a bit more often. And I'm just glad I'm finally getting the chance to do it. I figured, what better opportunity to give it a try than a low-key night like Christmas. CHRIXMIX. CHRIXMIX. Welcome back. Welcome back. I think that's how Brandon Rogers says it.
Yes,
I'm having this for CHRIXMIX. Brex. And then we're going to have a morning Brex fixed. How's my week been? My week's been okay. It's really the best way to put it. It's been okay. I mean, today's only Monday, right? Today's only Monday. But I didn't work. So it's just been kind of a relaxing day off. And we got CHRIXMIX tomorrow.
Okay, everybody, as a Christmas present to Nova Blitz is a pony, not a frog.
Hey, all right. Let's see. So Top Josh is asking if we can ask a couple of questions. Yeah, before we get into the next reading, we'll take a couple of questions. Sure. People are trying to make me a frog. Help. Don't worry. Luna just made you a pone. You're squares, little baby doll.
You're good to go.
She has the polymorphing powers. I don't. So I guess Panda's cooking something up to post up on Twitter, Luna.
She tells me that you know what it is, but she's saying that it's a surprise for me. So
I think I know what it is. I have a general idea what it is.
That's a nice change. I've been like the secret keeper for half the fandom lately.
Oh, you have?
At least when it comes to like the D&D streams, I know like everything about all the lore in every single D&D game, and
oh, that's true. You kind of do.
And then I know what Panda's most recent commission has been. It's a secret present for Scribbler.
Ooh.
But I can't say what it is.
Oh, here's a question from Top Josh. Favorite Christmas songs for each of us. For common ones, okay, so here's kind of the weird thing. I heard a couple of at the gig I played tonight. They had a couple of just selections for the choir, and one of them was, let me look this up. This is not my favorite, but it's just like something I've never heard before, and I thought it sounded really pretty. It's called "Oh Little One Sweet."
What's this?
You'll have to look it up, I guess, at some point. It's called "Oh Little One Sweet" by Scheid, Scheid. So it's a German composer, I'm guessing. And
Scheit.
Oh, Scheit. That's how it's pronounced? Okay. So it was really pretty. It's my first time hearing it tonight, and I was like, wow, I love like the little, just like unheard of pieces that they sometimes pick up. In terms of classical Christmas pieces, my favorite, I believe, is Silent Night, Stille Nacht, if you will. And but if I want to be silly about it, Secret Santa by Here Come the Mummies. Damn.
Oh yeah,
that one's damn fine. What do I got to do to get you underneath the mistletoe?
That one's so cute.
It's so great, and it's like animated Rudolph style. I love it.
And yet it still remains respectful to the material. It's so cute.
Oh, the Yuletide taboo.
I'm your secret.
Shh, Santa. Sliding down your chimney, give you everything you want.
God, the mummies
Oh,
are
no,
so
it was
great because they're
sit
such.
down, sit down on my lap. I'll give you everything you want. That's what it was.
It's. I love the mummies. They're like they have such the classiest inner windows.
Mm-hmm. So yeah, guys, look up Secret Santa by Here Come the Mummies. I'll even type it in the chat because it's so great.
And while he's doing that, I'm Top Josh. I can tell you my favorite Christmas carols. I don't really have any favorite modern ones because I am I'm an old-fashioned fart. But
Even though she's younger than I am.
I'm younger than you are, but I was raised by a classical musician, so sue me.
I wasn't. I just became one. Anyway. Go ahead.
Yeah.
I keep interrupting you.
But I mean, I was I probably my favorite is also Stille Nacht. I can sing it in German and in English. And other than that, I think my favorite Christmas thing ever is probably Handel's Messiah. For me, that embodies Christmas.
Very nice. That's one that I actually don't really think of often because I kind of think of I could be mistaken this because I'm not really much of a churchgoer. Rather, I'm only a churchgoer when I have like gigs to play mostly. Pretty much the only time I ever even do go to church. And Luna knows this because like she's been to the church where I do most of my gigs. I think that might be one where I just see that as like more of a general, non secular.
Did you say non secular?
Yeah, isn't that means
Yeah,
that means religious, right?
yeah.
I always mix them up. I'm glad I got it right this time. Why?
What? Oh no, I wasn't sure if you were saying non sequitur, which is like a different word.
Oh no, I said non secular, not non sequitur. I meant to say that I always mix up non secular with secular. That was the thing I always mix up.
I mean, it is a non secular song, but like I'm gonna come out and say I'm like I've had a really weird relationship with religion for most of my life, and it's kind of fluctuated back and forth.
Mm-hmm.
And now I kind of like just have a respectful distance from it. Like I appreciate it and I enjoy most of the content that comes from it. Like Handel's Messiah, it's a fucking artistic masterpiece.
Yeah.
But
But
so I don't really think it's funny because like a lot of the religious music that I listen to, like Handel's Messiah, like a lot of the traditional Christmas carols, I don't think of them as religious songs first. I think of them as Christmas songs first.
and then you probably know how to sing most of them multilingual, so
Well, no, I don't know. I don't think Handel wrote Messiah in German.
so I guess before we get into the next reading, so I think okay, so there have been many Christmas seasons where I've played a medley of pieces called Russian Christmas music, and the medley is by oh god, what is the composer? This is going to bother me. I have to look this up. I should know this. God, I only play like one of his pieces every concert. Alfred Reed. Damn it, I knew that.
Why does that not sound Russian at all?
Well, because he's not a Russian composer. It's like it's a medley of pieces. And I'm just curious that if you were to ever listen to it, would you be able? Do you think you would be able to identify each of the pieces that play?
Uh, I'm not sure. I mean, I'd studied Russian literature, and I'm not really as familiar with Russian
Like folk
classical
music?
music
Okay.
or folk music.
That, that,
I
that,
do. I mean, I do understand. I do like. I know Tchaikovsky. I know Stravinsky. I know
hmm
like
Yeah, you know all
what's
like
his
the
name? The
all the
composers. Yeah, the
all the
Russian
big
composers.
names. Yes.
You know, and I know generally what Russian folk music sounds like, but Russian religious music is a totally different animal.
Yeah. Okay. I was curious. See, like that's just been one of those things that like just like sometimes when I'm playing that just thought occurs to me. I'm like, I wonder if the lady friend knows like knows her like Russian like music. She can identify it if she heard it. It's just I don't
I
know.
might. And I think Top Josh
There's
asked another question
one of them.
somewhere.
Just one tiny
Yeah.
more bit on this. Like the first one goes. Dun dun da da dun dun da da dun dun da 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 da. Does that ring any bells?
Mm-mm.
Okay.
No, I grew up with Tchaikovsky's ballets mostly.
Okay. Well, I'm not saying that. I'm not sure if that was Tchaikovsky or not, but I'm just. This is blathering on about classical music.
Showing off how classy we are.
Yeah. Anyway, go ahead with the other question that there was.
The other question they had was what Christmas traditions did we grow up with?
Um, for us, Christmas Eve, we would always go. We would always go to my um to my grandma's. The whole family of my mom's side would gather there, so that the following day on Christmas, CHRIXMIX, we can go to like our all the respective families. However, and I'm not going to dive too deeply into this, I don't associate with my dad's side anymore, especially after his passing, because for reasons I will not get into. But so my Christmas day is kind of just spending with my mom and whoever else may happen by our house to wish good tidings and whatnot. So it's always just a it's just a good day to just reflect and just it's kind of better this way too because it's actually spending time with people who matter to you, and you get to like you don't feel like the obligation to have to spend it with people who are toxic. You know what I mean?
Oh yeah.
So it is. I do like it this way. And
Me?
I'm gonna
Yeah.
go ahead and say it because I don't know if it's not like my mom's gonna listen to this or anything, but so I got her one of the things she wanted for Christmas was a new fryer, but like like a deep fryer, Luna.
Mm.
But when I went to go find one, it's the store I was at. It only sold like air fryers.
The fuck?
Yeah, that's what I was like too. One of my old coworkers used to work with at Bed Bath and Beyond helped me, and she was like, "Oh my god, it's so good to see you again." And I was
Those are
telling
like
you,
fucking air fryers are like this fucking hot new thing, and I don't understand them.
that's what I was wondering. Like, is there anything with oil here? She's like, "No, we don't have. We're out of the oil." Ribbit. There's your ribbit. And I was just like, "Well, I'll get it with a gift receipt, and if she doesn't like it, she can just take it back for store credit." So it's like, I don't know. We'll give it a try. We'll see if she likes it. Because there's a good return policy on it. We'll give it a go. Thank you, Chaos. It was about a year ago, actually, last November. So I'm like, it's on the one hand, it's kind of I I told myself I'm not going to get too much into this, but it's Christmas, and I'm just going to just say a couple more pieces. It is Christmas. It's only been a year, and despite how toxic he was in my life, I do still miss him. which is why I want to just turn this onto a positive note and say that there are going to be toxic people in your life, and it could happen with family, but I highly encourage everyone to use this time of year of goodwill towards man to not be afraid of telling people that of not being afraid to express to people that while you may harbor disagreements, that you can still be the better person. Like, it's no joke that even people who have the best parents in the world have people who have like the best person in the world. There are still going to be things about them that piss them off. And that said, all the best thing that a child can do is take all the positives and just push aside all the negatives and mold yourself into the best person you want to be. Don't let the toxicity wear you down, but don't be afraid to confront it either, because you may not get another chance. Christmas is the one time a year where you should feel liberated to push that all aside and spend time with people who you know deep down you care about. And I insist each and every one of you take that to heart. I know I'm really goofy a lot of the time. I'm really silly a lot of the time, but I'm a little bit extra sentimental around Christmas. So, all that
Can
said...
I get an amen?
Amen! All that said, I think you had another talking point, Luna, and like completely unrelated. So,
Did I?
I think you did. There was like another question or something.
There was a It was the Christmas tradition question, and then somebody had a question about what food we're eating for Christmas. But one thing at a time, right?
I mean, you can answer if you want.
Yeah, I mean, my family. Come to think of it, mostly my family's traditions around Christmas have just been musical traditions. Like, we'll always play the same music. We would play the Roaches, not Roaches with an A, but like the ROCHES on tape in the house. And they were my first experience with Christmas carols as a child. So I actually learned the song We Three Kings wrong growing up, because they had like this interesting stylized cover of it that they did. And that was the version that I grew up listening to. And I thought, okay, this must be the original, this must be their song that they wrote. And it was only later that I realized, oh my God, this is actually a traditional Christmas carol that they fucked up. And we also play, my parents also play like the Muppets Christmas album every single year. And I partially blame Beaker for my determination to become a soprano, because he does. Yeah, the bit where they go 9 ladies dancing in the 12 Days of Christmas, Beaker goes. I can never get as high as he does. I don't know how Jim Henson did it.
Is that the that's the Muppet Christmas you said?
Yeah, the Muppet
Will
Christmas
they all
album.
go to like
Yeah, they go to each different Muppet and they each sing in their voice. Like Kermit.
I mean, I'm trying to think if that was the one where they all go to somebody's house and like I think Miss Piggy is late to it or something.
Yeah. Piggy pudding. That one, yeah. It's not the movie, the Christmas album.
Oh, I was thinking of the movie.
Yeah, the actual, like, the CD. Yeah. And the other tradition is I always, always, always watch the 1951 Christmas Carol every year, either Christmas Eve or Christmas. And I blame that movie, among others, for my ascension into gothhood, because my favorite character of all time from that movie is "To Christmas Yet to Come." I just thought he was the most awesome thing as a tiny child, and that sense of wonder and awe and mystery and fear and romanticism never really left me.
You know, I don't put that past you at all. All right then. So let's put a pin in the questions for now and get into the next reading, which Luna is going
Yeah,
to do.
let's do this.
All right, take it away, Boo.
Mm-hmm. Having a celebratory drink before I start?
That's the spirit. Literally, it's a spirit of Christmas. Ah, that's a double. That was a double. I'm proud of that. That was a double.
All right.
Spirit,
So
alcohol,
cool.
spirit of Christmas. Got him.
Hey.
Got him. Good night, Nova Blitz. Thanks for chilling out with us tonight, baby. Have a Merry Christmas.
So this one's called A Christmas Feast.
Hey, wait a tick. I think I did that one. Didn't I? That sounds like one I did before. But that's okay. That's okay. I'm not going to stop.
Baby!
What?
I said maybe.
Oh, I thought you said baby. I'm like, oh, okay.
Baby, maybe?
What?
What?
What? All right, take it away, Goof.
Okay, I'm going to actually do it, yeah.
Okay.
So this one's called A Christmas Feast. He first suspected that they were going to eat him when he noticed the distinct lack of Yuletide smells. It wasn't perhaps a conscious thought, at least not one which had been fully realized, but there was a clear growing uneasiness. Somehow, he just knew. Surely if a family invited you for Christmas dinner, the house would be filled with the wonderful aromas associated with that annual feast. Succulent roast turkey, honey-glazed vegetables, perhaps the fumes of mulled wine.
Making my mouth water.
No. All of these were absent. Yet, the table was set. It was a particularly bleak Christmas, and while snow was often welcome at that festive time of the year, but the penetrating cold and frost which seemed to sabotage blah 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 blah. The penetrating cold and frost which seemed to sabotage both homes and their residents' bodies was not. The temperature had plummeted on the 7th, and had been little sign of any forthcoming reprieve. Families attempted as best they could to reach one another, but for many, it was to be a lonely Christmas day. Travel, especially for the elderly, was almost impossible for fear of slipping on the ice. One fall was all it would take for a broken hip or shoulder, and for the more fragile individuals amongst them, recovering from such an injury was not such an easy task. Certainly not as easy as it would be for those of a younger vintage. Vintage,
We're on fire tonight, folks.
The Cardinal family had taken pity on an elderly gentleman who had recently moved into the neighborhood only a few streets away. They were of an upstanding stock, and took part in a local home help initiative spending time with the old and vulnerable. Everyone knew and loved them. Timmy was the youngest, a boy of only 5 or 6. He was a child whom all looked upon with great adoration, never complaining, never causing trouble, always adorable. And his 10-year-old sister Camilla was equally as admired. They were both a testament to the caring and nurturing parenting skills of Ben and Lucy Cardinal. Each year, as the cold winter drew in, the Cardinal family were admired for their dedication and commitment to those around them, their passion, almost zeal for helping those who were less fortunate. But behind the smiles and the skin-deep facade of that of a loving family, there lurked a far more sinister purpose. They had a tradition each year, a way to reward themselves for their kindness and generosity, one which stemmed back through many previous generations of the Cardinal family. What does that mean for people who marry into the family, though? Like, do they... Too many questions. Okay, moving on.
I don't know.
Each Christmas, they would invite a guest for dinner who would be welcomed with open arms and sat down at a beautifully set table, provided with humorous and enjoyable Christmas conversation, and then, by the light of the roaring fire, and eat gratefully. They all reveled. Timmy looking forward to it the most. He had a ferocious appetite and a waistline to match it. But children do get so wrapped up in the anticipation of a family Christmas, and his parents were delighted to see a growing boy fill his belly.
God, this one is right up your alley.
A quiet disposition than her stout little brother, slighter figure, with a pallid complexion which reminded all of her mother. But make no mistake, she adored eating with the family, and could render anyone silent with a sharp, cold insult. Ben was the local police chief for the area, so covering up their annual feast was quite the cinch, while Lucy was, shall we say, a relation of sorts. Oh God. And was entirely enthusiastic about maintaining the Christmas tradition. Their guests were invariably those without and often of a wry build, forgotten by society, left to wither in their isolated little houses. Ben explained to the children yearly that it was almost a kindness to put the victims out of their misery. And besides, when they did eventually die, they would be shoved into a box in the ground or roasted into ashes. What a waste of a good meal. Oh, but that's not what it says. What a waste of good meat. This year, Timmy and Camilla were especially excited. It was all their mother could do to calm their nerves. But on that Christmas Eve, it was nearly impossible, for they knew the special treat they were in for the following day.
Okay, pause a second. Why? Okay, do you ever have like this has nothing to do with anything really, but do you ever have moments in time where you hear like a name more often than usual?
Yes.
For me right now that's Camilla, and I don't know why.
Is it like the sensation when you hear a word so many times you get the...
Yeah. Like when I was in like my last year in college, my 5th year in college, back in like 2010, all of a sudden I started hearing the word hazmat everywhere. Well, I know partially is because of the fact that Left 4 Dead 2 had just come out, and there were like hazmat zombies. But aside from that game, like I just heard to hear the word hazmat just in completely random part of conversation. Like what the shit? And backdrop, I just found searching up good Christmas background background stuffs one day. I don't know where precisely. Google is a good buddy of mine. Spending Christmas alone, man. Professor Mule, you ain't alone, my guy or gal. You're just chilling with us tonight, and the rest of the lovelies joining us for this live stream, in which we're reading live creepy Christmas CHRIXMIX narrations. And before I droll on too much, Luna was just about to carry on.
This year, Timmy and Camilla were especially excited. It was all their mother could do to calm their nerves, but on that Christmas Eve it was nearly impossible, for they knew the special treat they were in for the following day. The Cardinals were hosting a most special guest. His name was Sergiu Moraru, and he hailed from Eastern Europe.
You pronounced that way better than I did.
I don't speak Romanian, so bear with me on this.
Oh, no, it just sounded classier without even trying.
They had never had foreign meat before, and the very idea of tearing into some delicious, exotic muscle and fat made this year's feast something to really look forward to. They had met old man Moraru just a few weeks earlier, when Ben had noticed the unusual name on his home help list. Each year, as Christmas approached, The volunteers of the local church would be given names and addresses of pensioners in the area who had no family and would be left quite alone over the holiday season. At that festive time of year, and worried that many of the frailer residents might succumb to the biting cold, church committee members would visit each of those lonely individuals and offer a friendly ear, a helping hand, and often some hearty food to the poorest of those on the list. The names would rarely change, but at least one person on that list would sadly pass away that year. Being an upstanding member of the community and a high-ranking police officer in the area, Ben would often inform the church that one of their flock had sadly passed away, and with no friends or family known, he would concoct a lie, which usually involved a long-lost son or daughter appearing to take their sadly departed parents somewhere far away to be buried. That, or he would say that they had simply moved, having a bit of a deal with the local estate agent and solicitors firm to throw the proceeds from any property sales their way. The family were not without influence. It was incredible how little people questioned this, but as the cardinals ensured that each Christmas meal was not an active member in the church or community, people just assumed that Ben knew best. This year, the cardinals had been hoping to invite Lucy Rinbridge around for the swan song, but unfortunately she had died during the summer. Ben had investigated, and he suspected that an intruder had been inside the house with her at the time of her death, but it seemed as though the causes were natural. No, the family would just have to have someone different for dinner. Then, his name appeared on the list. Sergiu Moraru, 86. Slight emphysema, no family, knows no one in the area as he's only recently moved here. Perfect. Ben found Mr. Moraru to be an absolute delight. While he was obviously very frail, his mind was still sharp, and he regaled Ben with numerous colorful stories about the old country and the adventures he had had while in the full bloom of youth. Of particular interest were his war stories, and Ben was thrilled to know that their main course would be that of an intelligent, well-traveled man. He even looked unlike any of the previous victims. He was quite tall, although slightly hunched with age, and with a long crooked nose and intense stare, Ben fancied that in his youth Moraru would have been quite intimidating. His kind smile and obvious fragile frame, however, left Ben in no doubt that the kids would love him. They enjoyed eating those with character and a gentle disposition. He himself always enjoyed the meat more if it had a keen mind and was out of the ordinary. As the family religion, one which had managed to stay unseen yet influential throughout the centuries, stated that the eating of another human being would transmit some of its strengths to those who devoured it. As with many of those who can only look into the past rather than into the future, Sergiu Moraru enjoyed the company greatly, and was touched when Ben invited him to sit at his family's Christmas table. The old man was extremely frail, and required the assistance of both Ben and Camilla to help him in and out of Ben's car, and then into the house. His emphysema was particularly bad that day, and each step was accompanied by the wheezing, fluid-filled sounds of struggling breaths. Each room of the cardinal home was draped in a multicolored selection of rather crass Christmas decorations, with numerous cards adorning every visible table and mantelpiece, showing just how popular Ben and his family really were. The table was beautifully laid, with a red cotton cloth resting underneath an elegant cream dining set. The old man found that the rest of Ben's family were just as pleasant and congenial as he was. Timmy and Camilla were kind and very well behaved for their age, helping the frail old man to his chair carefully, and then waiting on him, topping up his drink as their mother and father busied themselves in the kitchen. Finally, Lucy appeared, carrying a huge centerpiece plate. It was unusually large, and as she sat it in the middle of the table, empty and devoid of food, old man Moraru caught a look on Lucy's face. It was brief, and he immediately attempted to disregard it as a product of his imagination, but it unsettled him deeply. It was as if a private joke had passed between the eyes of Lucy and her children, a flicker of a grin, and not one of kindness or of Christmas spirit, but one resembling that of a conspiratorial bully, as if Sergiu was the unwitting recipient of some unwholesome prank, waiting to be ridiculed. Just as the unease began to diminish, Ben appeared, with a large, jagged carving knife and a long, two-pronged fork, which reminded Sergiu more of a butcher's implement than that required to cut a decent-sized turkey. A turkey which became increasingly conspicuous by its absence. There they sat for over an hour, each member of the cardinal family replenishing the old man's drink with enthusiasm and showing concern for each and every cough or moment of uncomfortable breathing experienced by their guest. But it was a strange concern. There they sat, gleefully, asking Moraro questions and then listening to the stories and answers which came about his life, where he'd lived and how many battles he'd fought in. But the interest and concern seemed to be distant somehow. It was only skin deep. Each time their guest mentioned the old country, those same conspiracy-laden glances were traded across the table as if excited, not by the content of the stories, but rather by the simple fact that Moraro was a foreigner. The absence of not only food, but of the mere mention of it was unsettling enough. But more perplexing was that Ben repeatedly stole looks towards an antique clock, which sat on a mantelpiece above the fire. Looks which were poorly hidden and betrayed their purpose. He was counting down the minutes of some event. While the old man had no idea what it was, the certainty was apparent that it was not connected to anything cooking in the kitchen. Nam.
No.
Yeah.
No, I can't word it.
Yeah. No, I read faster than I talk. The certainty was apparent that it was not to anything cooking in the kitchen oven. Moraro knew that there was simply no food being roasted, grilled, or even cooled on a window ledge nearby. Whatever was being planned, it was not going to involve him eating a Christmas meal. It was Camilla who first stopped smiling at his anecdotes and historical observations. She had ceased listening. No longer was she politely laughing at obvious jokes and the endearing sight of an old man repeating himself through forgetfulness. Camilla was simply staring with those pinpoint, cold, dark eyes, as a snake before a strike. Timmy was next to abandon the act, as he began to grin menacingly at Sergiu, as his hands gripped a small, serrated steak knife intensely. The most alarming thing was that the focus of Timmy's stare was not the old man's face, but his wrinkled neck. With one last glance at the clock, Ben ceased being the jovial, attentive host and began to run his fingers along the huge carving knife in front of him, with a mixture of anger and lust upon his face. Sergiu had seen many times in his time. He's a time traveler, guys. Sergiu had seen many things in his time, but nothing as surprisingly strange and unnerving as this. Finally, when the clock began to chime, Lucy relinquished her false, endearing shell and exposed the cold-hearted and twisted personality underneath. As the chimes slowly rang throughout the house, one by one, echoing and lonely and piercing in their symbolism, each of the cardinals rose up from their chairs, sharp, jagged knives in hand, and waited. Bong! The chime rang once, and they uttered an indecipherable phrase in unison. Bong, bong. The chime rang twice, and they increased their cult-like chorus in ferocity and volume.
Hamam shabai, hamam shabai, hamam shabai.
Bong.
Ho hu wah hee ha ho 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 hu wah hee ha ho.
Kalima. The chime rang 3 times, and then they stopped. All were silent, the house devoid of sound, Christmas spirit, and hope. The old man's wheezing grew in intensity as the uniquely bizarre sight of the twisted family about to dine dawned upon Sergiu. The family then quietly and efficiently walked around the dining table and stood motionless, surrounding their guest. Just as the old man was about to inquire what was to become of him, the clock on the mantelpiece burst into life one final time. This chime was different from the others. It was sharper, somehow fouler, and echoed once and only once throughout the cardinal home.
Layla?
Why not?
Where did Layla come from? Just suddenly Eric Clapton up in here, like, what?
I don't know, maybe they're the cult of Eric Clapton.
Carry on.
From behind, Lucy slit the old man's throat from ear to ear as Ben thrust his carving knife deep into Sergiu's stomach. Both parents then removed their knives and stood back, watching with pride as Camilla cut and stabbed repeatedly, while Timmy thrust his steak knife in and out of Muraru's legs, necks, and arms. Neck.
Nick.
So this is the actual Addams Family, guys.
Da-da-da-da.
After a few...
Da-da-da-da. 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 Oh, I see what you did there, DJ Pyro. Anyway.
After a few minutes, the frenzy diminished as both children grew tired, and with one last downward thrust, Timmy drove his steak knife so deeply into the old man's hand that it skewered it completely, embedding itself into the table on which the hand rested. The children now ran to their parents' collective embrace. They hugged and rejoiced in what was a fantastic Christmas game, and could now look forward with delight to some succulent exotic meat. Arms wrapped around one another, they stared at their victim and began to laugh loudly, commenting on the old fool's stories of times gone by, the war, and the old country. As they turned to each other once more, the laughter diminished, and they looked into each other's rosy, blood-covered faces and shared a family moment. This had been one of Ben's favorite sacrifices. But the laughter had not completely ceased. One person was still laughing loudly. Confusion turned to abject horror as the bizarre truth revealed itself. It was Mr. Moraru. Sitting there, covered in blood, his head tilted back and the deep cut in his throat wide open, the dinner guest laughed loud and strong. Laugh which was both young and old. His head arched forward as he pulled Timmy's steak knife out of his hand, dropping it on the floor. Camilla screamed, and Lucy hid behind Ben. What they had thought to be a corpse now stared at them all, as they had stared at him, with a singular purpose. Timmy began to urinate himself and cry as 2 previously retracted fangs cracked through the man's upper gum, revealing a serrated and terrifying grin. As he rose to his feet, Lucy fainted, and with both hunch and age now gone, the cardinal's guest loomed tall and dark before them, his eyes piercing, telling tales of countries and decades and centuries of existence. Circu moraru e well. The end.
So since he's European, are we guessing like Transylvanian vampire or
Romanian, yeah.
Romania? Okay. Is there a difference?
Transylvania is part of Romania, but it's
okay.
not the whole thing.
See, that goes to show how much I know my geography. I did not have points in knowledge geography. All right. Well, I think at this rate, I was talking to NP a bit ago. I don't know if he's going to join us or not. It's kind of leaning, it might lean a bit towards a no. But I think I'm getting down to the bottom of my glass. So I think what we're going to do is maybe take a few more questions for you guys before we go into the next and most likely last story, unless there's some kind of change up here. But otherwise, we're going to assume that it's going to be probably the last story of the night. So if you guys got questions, go ahead and pop them while we get ready for the next reading. This is a pretty fun little impromptu thing, don't you think, Luna?
Yeah, it's quite nice.
Yeah. No, go ahead.
What's that?
No, go ahead.
Oh, I was going to say it'd be a nice Christmas tradition.
It's a what?
It would be a nice Christmas tradition.
Yeah, it wouldn't be a bad option at all. Best jazz song. Oh, fuck. That's a hard one. Let me look through my library real quick. Oh, wait. Love Letters by Diana Krall. That's probably one of the top favorites I can think of right off the bat. It's a rendition that she has, like, with the like the jazz orchestra and strings playing behind her.
Diana Krall is a goddess, though.
Sorry,
Diana Krall is
actually
actually Aphrodite on Earth.
She might as well be. God, that fucking alto, man. Samuel Pierce 2.0 says, I'd like to attend another live reading stream like this in the future. Well, I'm glad to hear you say that. This is a very experimental thing. Like I said, I've been meaning to do this. And I've been meaning to do this. I've been wanting to think like the best time to do it. And I was just on my way home from a gig tonight. And I was like, man, I think I just want to chill out Christmas Eve and just like, read some stories and stuff, and see who might be interested. But this is a good sample. I might try and do it in the future and maybe up things a little bit.
Honestly, streaming is really fun because like we get to interact with you guys live, and it can be really nice just to be able to interact one-to-one in real time.
Yeah, that's the other reason I like live streaming so much. Whether I'm doing a game or not, which most of the time it's gaming, but I love interacting with my fans, and the fact that I've been like too busy to make like any kind of recorded reading or content since October, because my life's kind of been a bit of a squall, if you will. So
What do you call me?
I haven't had a whole lot of time to record, but I'm working on getting some stuff back out there. But in the meantime, that's kind of the other thing. I wanted to live stream because I want to interact with people, and I thought if anyone's free Christmas Eve, let's fucking chill out. Let's just do it. So Professor Mule asks, Goody, do you have a girlfriend? I do, actually. Hey, girlfriend, you want to introduce yourself?
Hi, it's me.
Surprise! There's your plot twist for the week, ladies and gents.
It's Luna Farrowe.
Oh, that's really good. So you know the Luna, you know the Kimmel that I had you sample the one time.
Hmm.
You know what really gets you messed up is when you swish it on the insides of your cheeks and it just like gets all in like your
Blood vessels.
that stuff, the stuff in your body. Yeah, the
When you just like completely just absorb it through your skin.
yeah. It's just like get you
Oh,
like
Christ.
70% more buzzed up.
Oh,
It's
fuck.
kind of what just happened to me when I swished the last of my glass just now.
Oh, fuck. I should
Insane.
do that with my wine since I'm awake.
I mean, it's not going to be as strong, but
Yeah, but I'm a lightweight, you know that.
I do know that.
I'm also a quarter your size.
Mm-hmm. Doing for New Year's Eve, I'm just gonna be chilling out at home. I think I don't really have any plans. What are you doing for New Year's Eve, Luna?
I'm probably also going to hang out at home and hope that I don't have work the next day.
I know that I do, but at least it's not like butt fuck early. So it's 9:30. So
Yeah, thank God.
yeah, I can still wake up at 8 o'clock and be like, oh, I'm just gonna have a cup of iced coffee and some donuts and watch a video before I go into work. It'll be good. It'll be boom jams.
Thank God work opens late on
Mm-hmm.
New Year's. So,
All
and it
right.
closes early on New Year's too, so.
Never heard of the jazz song. Oh fuck, that's a hard one. Oh, oh, I see what you did there. Chaos, you are such a shit, but please never change. God damn it. Favorite drink and snack for the Spook parents. Favorite snack for me, Cheez-Its. Oh my god, give me Cheez-Its. Not a Cheez-It three-way. Like I was talking about the one time in that fuck, what did I do?
Fucking she's a
Two
three-way.
two ponies at the end of the bar thing. I need to make another one of those. It's been a minute. I've just had no time to record and edit stuff lately.
Yeah,
But
that's been a mood.
yeah,
That's been a massive mood. I
that's the
literally
recorder for you.
recorded a 1 minute video or a 2 minute video this evening to post up for tomorrow morning because I have not had the time to actually create
Yeah,
a proper
yeah.
thing.
Speaking of favorite Christmas songs we were talking about earlier, if you were paying attention, you'll remember what that was. If you don't, you're gonna have to wait and see what she posts tomorrow. By the way, make sure you subscribe to her so you can find out what Christmas spoop jam she's posting up. That's right, I call it a spoop jam.
It is a spoop jam.
Yeah, right. So favorite snack is Cheez-Its. And drink. Outside of alcohol, I have a lot of different favorite like liquors, and I don't want to always give an answer for liquor because it makes me sound like an alcoholic because I'm not. I'm a big fan of Diet Mountain Dew, and also Barks Root Beer. You might also catch me drinking Diet V8 Splash sometimes.
I have never once seen you drink that.
Well, there's a reason for that, and it's because usually before bed, if I have it,
Ah.
which is usually when I crave it the most, it's
Mm.
like the acid in the juice like gives me a little acid reflux.
Because my dad
So,
drinks V8 juice to compensate for the fact that he only has half an intestine.
oh, well, that's different. I just like the taste of it.
Um,
Snack and beverage, Luna.
I'm thinking because like I'm not really a big snack person, oddly enough. I graze on things that I already have in the house, which are meant for meals. But oh God,
Ooh, chunky chips, chocolate chunk chips ahoy. That too.
that's true.
Oh god, they just
I'm a
load that shit on.
I'm a fucking I'm a I'm not really a health nut, but when I do have opportunity to graze on something, then it tends to be either cereal or fruit or nuts. I like cashews and I like almonds.
Oh, I love cashews.
Mm. And I like for non-healthy food, my favorite snack is probably Reese's Cups.
Yeah. So,
Yeah.
in the time frame we've been dating, I have told you about Reese S'mores, haven't I?
I think you have.
I damn well have better, or else I'm shit.
Please teach me the ways of Reese s'mores.
So it's a s'more, but instead of a Hershey bar, use a Reese cup. That's basically
Mm.
it.
And then I guess my favorite drink is I'm gonna go the opposite way of Goody because interestingly enough, in my real life, I drink basically only water and then I drink other things as like either because I'm sleep deprived or because it tastes good. My favorite warm drink is probably either hot cocoa or Starbucks salted caramel mocha, or a pumpkin spice latte. And then my favorite alcoholic drink is Pinot Noir.
See, it's even funnier because, like, whenever I know I'm having company, I always make sure to try and load up my fridge. So when she arrives, I have a fridge decked out with just all kinds of beverages because technically I got to stock up too. And then she's like, and I'm just like, all right, what do you want to drink? She's just like, oh, I'm fine with water. I'm like, all right.
It true story.
Yeah. I'm like, well, more Diet Dew for me.
See, here's okay. So like I even get offers to drink wine, and then I pour one glass and I don't finish the bottle.
For, well, I mean, give it a week, so.
I mean,
Mysteria,
give me a week there, and I will finish one bottle probably.
Mysteria Russo, you are not late to the stream. We are just taking some questions right now. And we still got one story left to read. So,
We have one person asking least favorite snack and drink. Oh God.
what's up?
Oh, we had one person asking about our least favorite snack and drink. I think it was J-Rog.
Least favorite? Oh, shit. Anything with coconut. Like, alright, so back when I was working at my previous job, every, I think, Tuesday or Wednesday, they'd bring in, like, some treats from a local bakery. And, I can't remember the name of what they were exactly, but once I describe them, Luna, you'll probably know.
Hmm.
So, they were like these cookies that had some kind of, like, really chocolate, good-looking mound on them. I'm like, oh, shit, that's gonna taste so good. And so I take a bite out of it, and there's some kind of weird, just crunchy like texture. I look inside, and there's whiteness. I'm like, oh, it's coconut. Oh no, oh, it's coconut. Oh, that's so bad.
Oh
So, do
God.
you remember what you know what that kind of cookie's called?
I I was it like Samoa's or something?
Samoans. That's what it was.
They're Girl Scout
Oh,
cookies, and
that was the
for some
ultimate.
reason they're really popular.
It's the ultimate bamboozle. It's like, here's some
Ugh.
cookie and chocolate deliciousness. Take a bite. Surprise! You have anthrax in the form of fucking coconut, bitch. Like, no, no. This was looking so good. Oh,
Ah,
everything's terrible. You know what?
for me,
Something.
it's
There's a beverage
yeah.
that I did drink soda wise. This is gonna be really obscure. So cherry vanilla Dr. Pepper was a big thing back when I was a freshman in college, back in like 2005, 2006 ish. God, that shit was so fucking good. Like, I normally don't really care for Dr. Pepper, but throw in that cherry vanilla, and I was just fucking hook me up to a fucking hospital tube thing, whatever that. I can't words right now. Just hook a syringe into my fucking arm with cherry vanilla Dr. Pepper.
But then you don't taste it.
Fuck, you're right. It'd actually also be kind of bad for you too, wouldn't it? All right.
It's hard to choose a least favorite snack because I tend to not eat them. And I also have a tendency, like, if I don't like something at first, then sometimes it grows on me. So, but for the longest time, I have always hated white chocolate.
Wait, you don't like white chocolate?
I don't like white chocolate.
Like, at present, you don't like white chocolate.
I mean, at present, I don't like it as much as other forms of chocolate, but back in the day, I used to hate it.
Oh, I done fucked up with your Christmas gifts.
No,
I done fucked up your Christmas gifts.
no, I took the food out. I'm eating it. It's delicious.
Oh, you already
I
took the
love
food out?
Yeah.
Oh, I didn't know you opened everything already.
No. I was gonna unwrap stuff for you,
Oh,
but
okay. So did you share your food
yeah.
with the roomies, or?
No, because they left before I opened it.
Okay.
But I still have the popcorn and the toffee in the cupboard.
Okay, so you
And
have the
God
popcorn and the
damn,
toffee.
that toffee is good.
Yeah. So my mom made the toffee, and she actually made the popcorn too. Basically, the food is my mom saying, "This is for you." So that's her
Your
part of the
mom
gift.
and my roommate both made food, my Christmas presents.
Mm-hmm.
Look at me, guys. I'm Goosey's girlfriend. Literally.
Look at you flexing over here, Jesus. Guys, please stop telling me how young you were in 2005. It hurts. It makes me
Okay.
it makes me feel pain.
It makes me okay. Okay. In 2005, I was twice your age. Wait, no, hold on. That's daughter, sweetie. That's daughter. That is Spoop daughter.
What the fuck did I just say?
You just
No, I
yelled
just said, please stop telling me your age is in 2005, and then what do, Luna? You just go right on ahead and do exactly what I said. Please don't do this.
Sorry.
How the fuck dare you?
Fuck.
Oh, fuck this live stream. I'm canceling. No, I'm not canceling. Not really. We still got one more story to read.
You know, the only drink that I don't really like is soda, and that's partially because I haven't drunk it in a long time. Because when I do drink soda, it just goes. And I mean, it's something you get used to, but like, I don't like the intense sweetness of soda, and I also don't like the fizziness of it. It goes like straight up your nose.
Oh, I mean, I don't know. I guess I just don't notice that, if that's a thing.
Because you're more used to it, because you drink it more.
I guess so. Oh, hi, DeWelstonator. I know you're kind of going in and out, but Merry Christmas, my dude. Thanks for popping in right quick.
Hey, Merry Christmas, Westernator.
Merry CHRIXMIX, and happy marriage, by the way. I haven't talked to you since you've been married, I don't think. So, in case I have not. But Merry CHRIXMIXed. Yeah, I'm in an abusive relationship because she reminds me of how much younger everybody around me is than I am. So, yep, this is my life now. Hey, I'm also 31. Rock and roll, baby. All right. So, I think all that said, I'm going to put another pin in the questions and get into this last story of the night. I'm going to go ahead and read this one. It is called Unexplained Snowman. Take a quick little swig of water. I'm actually not as buzzed as I thought I was going to be. So that's a thing. I love the season of winter, and so did the rest of my family. Enduring the harsh cold was only a minor fee to pay in order to enjoy the festivities of the joyful season. Whether speeding down the snowy hill in our backyard, ripping through Christmas presents, or even building a snowman, we always managed to have fun. I noticed a particularly... why is the word particular so hard for me?
Particularly because it's stupid and full of
Like, that was like my prime blooper in one of my blooper reels.
it's full of fucking. Oh, hi, is that an NP?
Hello.
It's the boy!
What the fuck are y'all doing?
Y'all, welcome Narrator Pony to the live stream. Yeah, that's applause. That's 25 people applauding for your entrance. Woo!
What the fuck? Y'all know it's middle of the night on Christmas Eve, right? What the fuck are you doing, Goody?
It's Christmas Day. It's almost Christmas Day for you, baby.
I got 5 more minutes till Christmas.
You got 5 more. 5 minutos más, my guy.
See.
So,
No, seriously, what are y'all doing?
We're live reading spoopy Christmas stories.
Spooky Christmas stories. Okay.
And just answering some questions here and there.
Okay.
So you're welcome to stick around and join with us and enjoy the Yuletide taboos.
I got about as much time as it's going to take for this caffeine, this Mountain Dew to wear off, and then I'll probably head out. But I can.
All right. So we got a third man aboard, y'all. So let's get on this badness and get on with the tales of Yuletideness. All right.
Oh, you got the Yuletide. I'm in the stream now. Look at that.
Yeah, I told you.
Hey.
I told you streaming. We got about, I'd say somewhere about 20 folks in here.
Wow.
Thereabouts.
Closer to 30.
All right.
One of them is me, to be fair.
We have 27 people watching.
Wow.
Wow, alrighty. Not the numbers we expect for
Pana's
Christmas.
in the chat.
Yeah.
Hey, Pan.
She finished a really Adorabetes arts of little CHRIXMIX arts.
Use the
I've got her. She drew my avatar that I'm using for Discord right now.
Yeah. I've noticed that. I'm like, I love it. Oh, and I keep forgetting to talk about it. I'm just like, oh, look at it. It's so fucking cute. Everybody should commission It's So Panda arts for arts.
Pretty much.
Pretty much. Just do
Go
it.
for
Just throw your
authenticity.
money at Panda.
Throw your money at
She'll try to undercharge. Be like, hey, how much for a full color art with like 6 characters? She's like, oh, I don't know, like $5. Like, girl.
You're like, no.
Throw your money at Panda and tip the fuck out of her.
Yeah, like you think you're about to go to you think you're about to shell out $25 for a smokehouse combo at Chili's? No, you're buying Panda arts. That's what's popping. That's what's popping right now.
Panda art is the best art.
Pretty much.
So this is the last. So this is the last story of the night. It's called "Unexplained Snowman." I love the season of winter, and so did the rest of my family. Enduring the harsh cold was only a minor fee to pay in order to enjoy the festivities of the joyful season. Whether speeding down the snowy hill in our backyard, ripping through Christmas presents, or even building a snowman, we always managed to have fun. I noticed a particular accentuated amount of attention on building snowmen for my family. All of us loved doing it, most likely due to the subconscious reward of bonding it created. I was always in charge of making the first and biggest snowball for the base, while my sister made the second two. Then my parents, of course, with my newest and youngest sibling, would tack on the details such as the carrot nose, the coal eyes, the little buttons, the warming scarf, stick arms, and exclusive to my family, the hay we used as hair. My family was so into the collaborative effort of building the snowman that we actually added our own details. I had never before heard of someone adding hair to a snowman, especially not without hay. Regardless, we all enjoyed the time of winter, and nothing was more soothing than a mug of hot chocolate at the end of a freezing day in the cold. Winter had just started, and all the hype for it had lived up to expectations. Already it was snowing at the beginning of the season, but this wasn't anything odd for Minnesota. My friends and I kicked off the start of the season with a massive snowball fight. They all gathered at my house as we pelted each other with the compacts of ice. I attempted to run to shelter when a ball exploded in my face. I fell down a nearby hill and almost got back up when my peripherals caught something. My heart skipped a beat as I thought I saw a man walking in the woods. However, my fear was proven unjustified as I peered at the figure. It was somewhat hard to make out due to the distance, but it looked like to be nothing more than a snowman. I was sure children were just excited about the winter season and couldn't wait to build one. I returned to my friends and we finished off the battle. But at the end of the day, I sipped my hot chocolate to the bottom of the mug and headed off to sleep. I rolled out of my bed that morning, slightly groggy. I was tangled in my covers, almost trapped in them, as I ruffled out of my blankets and hopped off my bed. Making my way to the bathroom, something once again alerted my peripherals. I turned to look out the old window, and saw an eerily familiar sight. It was a snowman, but it wasn't just any snowman. This snowman was similar to the one I had seen just a day earlier. However, it now stood directly in the center of my backyard. Though I couldn't entirely make out the snowman, it was almost sure for some reason this was the exact same one. I wasn't so much saying the same people built it, or that it was similarly constructed. I legitimately believed what stood before my eyes was the exact same figure. Same snow, same nose, same buttons, scarf, same everything. Even the hair looked the same. It was then I realized something. Hair, something that was signature to my family. It was then that I realized one of us must have built it, but I felt excluded in a way, that they had left me out. I stumbled over in my sister's room with the little early morning coordination I had. I'd asked her about the snowman, and of course she said she had no idea what I was talking about. I chuckled and told her how our pranks were only getting worse and worse. She promised me she hadn't built the thing, but I continued to vest more trust in my original belief that it was a minor prank from her. Just to assure myself, once making it downstairs, I questioned my parents. Similar to my sister, they promised they hadn't built a thing. Though I had put the blame on my sister previously, I now felt somewhat unsure. I had a burp. Thank you. After finishing off my breakfast, I called my family to go outside and take a look at the snowman. It's the booze setting in.
Mm-hmm.
Once only inches away from the figure, I felt discomforted to see the detail in the creation. It looked no different in any manner to the snowmen my family had built in the past. Every single specificity matched on this snowman. Rather than sharing my feelings of unsettledness, my mother looked to me in anger, stating that we were only to build snowmen as a family. I told her that I had no part in building it, yet she refused to believe me. One moment.
Oh. The snowman's knocking on Goody's door.
What's up with the darning?
Oh, he ducked out for a second, presumably. For a second. I hope the snowman doesn't get him.
Hello, how late are you? You are never too late to join in. We are just waiting for the Gooty Booty to come back.
Do. How's your Christmas going so far, LF?
Pretty damn good. I've got myself a glass of wine, and I've got creepypastas, and I've got you and tea.
Aww. Hashtag winning.
Life is pretty damn good.
Nice. I had one more Christmas fic.
What's that?
I was supposed one more Christmas fic I was supposed to try to finish up, the one you sent me. You sent me one line for. But it just didn't happen in time, and my plan was like stay up all night and like push it out tomorrow. I was like, it's
Which one was
gonna
it?
be it was called Derpy Be a Deer and Save Hearthswarming.
Oh, that one.
Yes. You sent me a few lines for that one.
That one that yeah, I thought, okay, I'm gonna release something for Christmas, and then I thought, fuck, I don't have the time or the energy at the moment. I want to just play D&D, and then that turned into, you know what? I'm going to release a song for Christmas.
You know what? It's like, man, I don't know. I've just been so allergic to just opening Audacity recently. It's just like I get home from work, it's like, all right, I'm gonna sit down. We're gonna fic, but first I'll just play one or two games Overwatch, just kind of just unwind a little bit out of work,
That's a big mood.
That's
just
a
wake.
mood.
Well, it got kind of late. I'll wake up early tomorrow and get that started. Then I'll wake up the next day. It's like, I'm still a little sleepy. I'll play one or two games Overwatch. Just kind of wake me up a little bit, And then I'll just buckle right down. I swear I'm allergic to opening Audacity these days.
I'll do it before. I'll do a little before work. Nah, I'll just do a little bit after work. Nah, I'll do it tomorrow morning before
I keep
work.
saying that to myself, and it never happens.
And then it's December 22nd. You've got nothing to show for. You're like, oh.
What to do is play D&D or make D&D characters or go to sleep. And Swiftblade, you said awkward conversation between friends. NP is actually my first friend in the fandom and my first friend in the Big Brother community.
Oh.
I go a good ways back.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Yep. Anyway, Goody, we were worried about you. We thought the Snowman had got you.
No. I kicked his face in.
Oh, there's a good lad.
Hi, Estelle.
Let's see. Rather than sharing my feelings, I told her I had no part in building it, yet she refused to believe me. Okay. I sat in my room for the next couple of hours, bonded in my thought process by this odd snowman. I stared at it almost all day, noticing its unordinary size. It stood at nearly 7 feet in height. My family never even flirted with that level of stature when we built them. After hours of thinking, I finally remembered an outstanding fact. When I originally saw the snowman, it was resting in what looked to be someone's yard through the woods connecting our houses. I looked beyond the trees as well as I could from my room and noticed a familiar house. Strangely enough, the snowman that was once there no longer existed. Just for reference, a 7-foot snowman is taller than me, guys.
It's really hard to build one that large.
Yeah.
You get exponentially more difficult to stack higher.
Yeah. Provoke a lot of attacks of opportunity. I went out the back... God, I fucking hate myself. I went out the back door of my house and trekked through the woods. Trailing my way out the house, I didn't see any cars in the driveway or any lights turned on inside. It appeared that no one was home. I decided to ring the doorbell, but of course heard no answer. My next option was to press my face up against the glass and take a look inside. When gazing into the home, I noticed an open bag of chips on the table in a pantry that looked nearly fully stocked. I would argue that someone had been living there based on the surroundings. To gain more info, I went over to the neighbor's home and decided to ask a bit about what they knew. An old man greeted me at the door. He carried a cane with him and struggled to stand. The elderly man gave off a kind vibe and invited me in. I asked about his neighbor. He went into quite a lot of depth. The man explained that he had lived in his particular home for over 40 years and had fairly a lot of insight about the neighborhood. He said his neighbor was the closest to being an exception. He best described them as mysterious. That doesn't surprise me, I said. The man reiterated, Yeah, they were an old bunch, son, I'll say that much. I gave him a puzzled look. Were? He replied, "Oh yes, boy, they moved out a couple years back." I didn't shake my confused expression. If they moved out, who lives there now? The old man looked at me as if I were ignorant and spoke, "Well, no one now. It is abandoned." I didn't give him much of a reply. I thanked him for his info and nearly headed out. I stopped at the door and fired away with another question. "Do you know why, by any chance, they left?" He responded, "I believe it had something to do with them feeling uncomfortable. I'm not really too sure." I left his house and returned home. I sat up sipping on my hot chocolate. I didn't really sleep that much that evening. I just thought of it more and more. I couldn't seem to shake the thought from my head. Finally, I lost my fight against sleep and passed out. Of course, when I woke up and took a look outside the window, I gazed down at the same snowman. I tried my best to ignore and continued on with my day. I went through my usual routines, every now and then allowing the snowman to draw attention. However, I, for the most part, drained it from my attention span. I slept fine that night after a full cup of warming hot chocolate. I indeed was well rested, and had a pleasing period of slumber the previous evening, but that morning only greeted me with surprise. I instinctively scanned my backyard for the snowman, but he was nowhere to be found. I couldn't see a trace of him. No carrots, no scarf, no buttons, and no hay. I thought it was a bit peculiar, when I forced myself to ignore it. The day went on rather slow as I continuously let the snowman eat up my mind. Ouch. I looked every hour at first to see if he returned, then every half hour, then every 15 minutes. And before I knew it, I checked every minute. I pretty much spent my whole day in front of the glass looking everywhere for the figure, but as much as I looked, it was nowhere to be seen. I freaked out when I went to make hot chocolate. There was no mixing powder left. That couldn't be possible. There was at least 3 mugs left this morning. I was overridden with panic and couldn't seem to expel it from my emotions. Then I thought to myself that it was quite ironic. First, I didn't see the snowman here, and now I was almost hoping it would return. I said to myself, "Why are you panicking? It was just a pile of snow. Just a pile of snow." I laughed a little bit, realizing I was just freaking out over nothing. I mean, my sister could have easily just eaten up all the hot chocolate with my parents' help. I headed to my room, only to have my laughter cut short. On my bed was a carrot, 2 pieces of coal, some buttons and some twigs, and of course, some hay. Beside it was a note that read, "Hiding in that pile of snow was too cold for me. I like the warmth of your home better." We moved out the next week. We went somewhere much warmer. It's been about a year since then. Florida doesn't have winters, but no one in my family knows who built the 7-foot sandcastle that popped up in our yard just a couple of days ago.
Huh.
Whoa.
Oh, shit.
Ooh. Ooh, that's a spoopy one. That was a spoopy one.
That finish though.
Yeah. Ooh.
Yeah.
Whew.
Yike. That's a toppest yike.
I'll be honest, a 7-foot sandman is not quite as ominous as a snowman, just because of reasons. But yeah,
Well,
it's
generally
okay.
speaking, unless you knew, like, oh, he's it's the same guy. Oh shit. Shit, fam. All right, well, that was Unexplained Snowman, y'all. And I think at this point we're gonna start winding things down on this stream here. So if let's pop some last minute questions in here. See if we can what we can get rolling. We have an NP now to answer some preguntas if y'all have any. Winter is indeed fucked up. I can now say that. I can now say that because this is the new and improved demonetized Goodiest Serenade channel.
Did y'all see this thing Panda tweeted an hour ago?
Yeah.
That's
yeah.
oh my god.
It's so cute.
God, so cute.
It's the Spoop fam.
Ah. So good.
It was Goody the entire time. I mean, I kind of would need a 7-foot like earth matter stuff debris to cover up my size in order to snoop around and shit.
Oh my god, I'm retweeting the fuck out of this. This is too cute.
I know, right?
Why are y'all such beautiful beans? I don't know. Why are you such a fucking beautiful bean?
Panda's
MP,
best
this
bean.
is a mandatory question. Why are you such a beautiful being?
Why, I mean, those of you who've seen me in real life know I shave my head, so I'm kind of bean shaped.
Okay.
My whole head, just area, just kind of bean shaped. So yeah, that'll happen.
I mean, valid.
I'm a beautiful being because I'm part Mexican. Aw, yeah.
I grew up in Oakland, California. Professor Mule 87. So there's that. Hat Van Moose wants to know my best joke.
Oh, here we go.
Oh.
Oh my! I don't. Man, it's too late at night. What have I got?
Come on, Alvor. Let's hear something. Let's hear one of your fucking puns or some shit. You got dad jokes. Come on.
Man, it's okay, but it's 12:16 in the morning on Christmas Day.
No, we can come back to it.
Come back to me, please.
All
Okay,
right.
let's do that.
Three ships come sailing in on Christmas Day. On Christmas Day, I saw 3 ships come sailing in, and Starry didn't have to inship it.
Favorite fanfic you've read so far? I think I'm gonna have to fall on my oldie but a goodie, Silent Ponyville. That's kind of the story that got me into wanting to do fanfiction readings and the like. So it was like the year that I first started doing readings, I was telling myself I gotta do this one and I gotta do it right. And it's still one of my favorites to this day. So, Goody Luna, do you have... Oh, not Goody. Why the fuck did I do that? I'm tired too. NP, Luna, what were your favorite fics that you've done on your channel so far?
I'm doing that thing where I can't remember. Every fic in my head just gets filed under the way where the one where the thing happens. God damn it. What's the name of that fic that I did? I'm also not awake enough to like type in my own name into YouTube so I can find it. You go first.
Yeah, borrow some of my wine. You'll be fine.
Go to my channel where she turns out she was a doll because of the reason. You go first. OF.
Okay. I mean, my favorite fic that I've done is constantly changing because there's always a new magnum opus. First it was Will of Pyrene. That was like my pride and joy.
Oh, so
Then I went back to listen to it and I was like, fuck, my production value is terrible.
You've come a long way since then. It's true,
I
but
have.
goddamn, that's such a great fic. Just love that
It is
fic.
a good fic, but I got so shouty when I was narrating that thing.
Oh my god, you're fine. It's fine.
I can't listen to my own narration when it comes to that fic because I don't know how Scribbler was able to listen to it. God, okay, she was listening to it back in like what 2014, back when it was like recorded on a fucking headset.
Okay, but here's the thing though. Like your voice is just so soothing to listen to. It's true that you've learned a lot about the production process itself, but just your voice is just so nice. Like I could, so like I was waiting for you to finish Pyrene, but I was like, oh, just so torn because like I needed to know where this fic was going, but I also needed to, I couldn't just read it myself. I needed you to read it to me.
I mean, okay, so Pyrene used to be my favorite fic that I'd read, and then that became Cold Handed Mercy, which we recently tore to absolute pieces on the
To
Wrong Writing World
shreds.
podcast.
To shreds, you say?
Well, Scribbler and Midori really didn't like.
I thought it was okay, like for my part.
And then Ilya, Mami, and I both loved. All three of us loved it.
Nice. Say. Okay, I've got my own channel pulled up, so now I can think of the name of the fix that I've done. Sweet Little Lovely is the one I was thinking of. That everything just came together real well with that one, with the music and the music in particular. I was just particularly proud of just the mixing and everything. Everybody, the cast gave me a great performance.
Fucking Pony Horse.
So good. Pony Horse, what?
Yeah, that's just the meme on this channel.
Oh my god.
Are they trying to shit me with Pony Horse? You know that bitch is a dead ass changeling now.
Okay, they're nice
I feel like I'm
changelings,
missing a
but Pony
joke.
Horse is one of the ones that went and started a chrysalis cult.
Wait, what was the Christmas called?
No, chrysalis cult, as in like. Ree, I'm not joining up with you fucking gay hippie dear. I'm gonna go and become my own hype queen.
I feel like I'm missing a joke here. Who's Pony Horse?
So that threw me off too. I don't know what's going on anymore.
Me neither. I don't know what's happening. Okay.
No, sorry about that. I was shit posting.
Okay. Fair enough. Let's see.
Luna's voice is the vocal equivalent to Dark Chocolate. Oh, that's so sweet.
Dark chocolate? No, I think my voice's music is equivalent to dark chocolate. Thank you very much.
Panda, you don't count. You're a sweet.
Yeah, it was a
queen.
bad changeling that tried to bamboozle me. So we killed it.
She's a sweetie. She eats people.
So people probably deserve it.
That's true. I also bite people's necks and drain them of their blood, so there's that.
Can vouch. I mean, what?
What? But yeah, Pony Horse is one of the bad ones, because Pony Horse... I had to throw Pony Horse into my fucking base to be attacked by the shadow monsters, because fuck Pony Horse.
Pony Horse tried to pull the wool over my eyes once. Did not end well for them. Alex...
Try to take the name Pony and Horse and say I'm a real pony. Fuck you.
Alex says that NP is more of a dark blended coffee. You're like a French roast.
Ooh.
Somebody else
I can
says,
deal with that.
Swiftblade says your voice is like smooth jazz, MP.
Ooh. I'm gonna rub that in Cygnus's face next time I see him. Oh yeah, well, I'm smooth jazz. No, my wife said your voice sounded like a campfire on autumn evening or something, but
Was that what you said about your
Yikes,
voice?
that's actually pretty... Ooh.
no, I have to go back and find out. It was let's just say what she had to say about his voice was way better than what she had to say about my voice. But I'm not bitter.
Okay. About
I feel
who?
we're not doing a good job of keeping up with
About
the
Gootie's
questions.
voice?
I saved all those because Kaylee has like that synesthesia thing, so she gets like impressions.
I'm kind of curious about this, honestly. I think you were going to ask her at some point about.
I
mine.
did ask her, and then she wandered off like she does. I'll bug her about it again. It's gonna be good.
What else we got here?
What? Why do we call cookies and bacon if we bake cookies and cook bacon? Why do we drive in a parkway and park in a driveway? Let's let that stoodle in your noodle.
Okay, Power Note Brony says Gootie's voice is like pink milk. Amazing.
Wow. That's man. Let me tell you that Yoo-hoo strawberry milk. That's the good shit.
Mm-hmm. Tastes like a strawberry.
Strawberry.
Hey, I shed no salt.
If I put a hat over Goody's eyes, would that be pulling the wool over his eyes?
Only if it's a woolen hat.
Somehow I have a feeling she's going to draw that in the future. I think it's straight up bamboozled. All right, folks. So, a couple more questions. Then we're just gonna wind this thing on down and get ourselves ready for CHRIXMIX tomorrow.
Mm-hmm.
I'm gonna lay out some bourbon and a petite fillet to get visited by the Ilya Claus. And
So wake up to a drunken Ilya, just it's still there. When you Christmas morning, you just passed out.
be the ultimate summoning ritual. I'll put on either Rocky 4 or Die Hard on TV.
I always worry about Ilya when he gets drunk because he like starts talking about his life in great detail.
Oh, he's so great when he's drunk. He's the most eloquent drunk I've ever seen. It's amazing.
He's the most eloquent drunk, but like he's had moments where he's like, I am drunk and vulnerable, and you are free to ask questions that I wouldn't otherwise answer. I'm like, Ilya, please.
Have I ever told you about the time Dan Aykroyd and I put out an orphanage fire? just amazing things, and I'm just like, what?
We'd fallen into the habit of playing a game of canasta in the evenings, and oh, he was such a cheater. He was the worst. That's my Ilya impression.
Yeah. Then we inform the constabulary about our shenanigans.
Best background pony, my pick would probably be Roseluck right now. She's a cutie.
Yeah.
It's obviously Octavia.
Octa's hard to beat.
Octavia's not a background pony. She's a maximum waifu horse.
He's got you
Yeah,
there.
that's actually true.
Yeah.
Starry, the best cat. My best cat is Kitty. You've met her. All the other ones are Dawson and Spook are both assholes. Sophie's okay, but she's just slimy, as you know. But yeah, Kitty's a sweetheart. As well, you know.
Apparently, Gooty, you are Santa Claus and I'm Mrs. Claus.
You don't want my presents, kids.
I want your presents.
What?
She said she wanted your package.
Sit down on my lap, give you everything you want. What? See,
I'm so sorry.
no, it's fine. We were just talking about that Here Come the Mummy song earlier. Sliding down your chimney.
Hey.
Best waifu horse is Octavia. Well, maybe also
Octavia
Rarity.
is best waifu, but if we have to choose a husband, to hooves.
Yeah. Yeah. He looks like he knows every crockpot recipe in the history of pony kind.
Probably.
He just seems that kind. He just gives me that vibe.
Wait, okay, Panda. If I am a cool vampire elf, that means that I am actually my D&D character's father.
Oh dear.
Which one, the edgelord or the other edgelord? Or the other edgelord? Wait, don't tell me. It's the one with the really pale skin. Oh, wait a minute.
Okay, to be fair, the one edge grey skin. She's literally got grey skin.
Okay. That makes it just distinct enough.
Her entire body is grayscale, okay?
Why is it gonna be gray?
Because she's a fetchling.
That's racist.
That's racist!
No, there's no colour on the shadow plane. There's no colour on their body either.
Well, then that's gracist.
Grace.
It's placist.
Gracist. All right, there you go. Who asked for a Joker?
There's his joke. There it is.
Yeah, there you go.
See, this all came full circle, just like I thought it would.
Mm-hmm.
All right, folks. So I think all said and done, this is going to wrap up the stream here. So did not expect to see 27 of y'all watching right now. It is, y'all should be snoozing.
It's quite a turnout for the middle of the night.
Around Christmas, yeah. I have
Yeah.
to keep this in mind for the future. Y'all folks across the pond are waking up for all your CHRIXMIX presents and shit. So
I mean,
That's
in
not
Germany,
places
they
to
actually
me to
open their
say.
presents on Christmas Eve, and in Iceland, they open their presents on Christmas Eve. And then
That's the best tradition ever, isn't it?
blah
I
blah
want
blah.
that.
My name's Luna. I'm so worldly and smart. Blah blah blah.
Amazing.
Yeah. So, all right, folks. So thanks for tuning into the live streams. I'm definitely going to try and do these more often. Now that since I seem to be since I seem to be pretty popular with you guys, we'll figure out a good schedule for these, and I'll try to have more of the narrator folk on as well to read some stuff.
Narrator New Year's?
Ooh, that's not a bad idea at all. We'll keep you posted on that. Other than that, tune in Friday night. Wambu, Kate, and I are gonna finish up Undertale. And come the new year, I got some stuff coming at you. I'm gonna be getting my Twitch rolling out. I'm gonna be trying to live stream and get a schedule up for that. I'll keep you all posted on that. And hopefully the next chapter of Silent Ponyville 4 will be on its way soon. Just need to get my lovely ladies to record for me. So thank you guys for maxing, relaxing, and sounding that chill out klaxon with me tonight. And I hope you all have a very Merry Christmas. And till next time, we'll catch you on the flip side. Luna and NP, thanks for joining me tonight. If you'd like to say your farewells.
Feliz Navidad, amigos.
good night, my darlings, and have a Merry, Merry Christmas.
Friday Ruby Tuesday, y'all. You all have a very Merry Christmas. Thanks for joining the fun. And we will see you on the
Bye.
next live stream. Ciao.
Bye.